The chairman and members of the governing council of GIMPA, the guests of honor, the rector of GIMPA, members of higher education fraternity, traditional rulers, members of the academic board, members of convocation, staff, students of GIMPA, alumni, members of the graduating class of 2022, distinguished invited guests, the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to GIMPA. May I respectfully invite the chairman of GIMPA Council, Mr. Kofi Darko Asante, to constitute this assembly as the fourth session of the 22nd congregation of the Institute for the purpose of admission to various master's and bachelor's degrees and diploma, and the award of prizes to deserving graduating students of the School of Liberal Arts, Social Sciences, School of Technology, School of Public Service and Governance, School of Business, and the Faculty of Law.
My colleague members of the Governing Council of GIMPA, the guests of honor who would have been Dr. Joyce Rosalind Ayi, but who knows? Obinia de Siemunsem. He has accepted our invitation to come, but she simply cannot come. And therefore, her statement, her speech, will be read by a member of council, Professor Olivia Ankuchede. But I'm addressing her for the record because she is our guest of honor. So, colleagues, guests of honor, Joyce Ayi, convocation members, staff, alumni, and I don't see them much. Students, graduating class of 2022, distinguished invited guests, the media, ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to welcome you all to the fourth and final part of the 22nd congregation of the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration. I'm also delighted to preside over the assembly, this assembly, in my capacity as chairman of the Governing Council of the Institute, as required by the Enabling Act of the Institute, GIMPA Act 204, Act 676, for the conferment of degrees on deserving students. I know that it has been years of serious studies for our graduates. And I also know that for some, it has taken longer than usual. But the important thing is that I want to congratulate all of you on your efforts, your tireless efforts. You have worked hard to get to where you are. And therefore, we thank God for the gift of life. We thank God for the gift of life and for his protection throughout the year. This year, the Institute is having 4 graduation ceremonies. Thankfully, not to manage COVID as such, although COVID is still with us. We now know how to deal with it. But to accommodate the large number of graduates and guests who have been invited to attend the solemn academic ceremonies. The first 3 sessions, as you may remember, of the 22nd congregation were held in July. And the fourth, and this is the final one, is being held this morning. We are holding it for the purpose of admitting students to various degrees, various Doctor of Philosophy, master's and bachelor degrees, and diploma, and to award prizes to deserving graduating students of the Institute. Normally, graduation ceremonies, they are special and memorable occasions for you particularly because they represent the fruit of years of hard work and making everyone proud of their accomplishment. And I want sincerely to thank every parent, every guardian, spouse, child, employer, faculty member, staff member, and everyone who has helped our students who are graduating this morning. Your efforts and sacrifices have not been in vain. Congregations also provide the rector, who is the chief executive officer of the Institute. It provides the rector the opportunity, it provides him with the opportunity to report on some aspects of the Institute's major developments over the course of the year. And now, by the powers conferred on me by the GIMPA Act 24, Act 676, I, Kofi Daakwa Asante, Chairman of the Governing Council, do hereby declare this assembly duly constituted for the purpose of conferring doctoral, master's, and bachelor's degrees and diploma and award of prizes to deserving students. Thank you.
As the chairman has mentioned, graduation is a solemn ceremony. I therefore want to appeal to the graduates and our invited guests to please remain seated, especially the graduates. Please remain seated until you are called to come forward for your award of degrees. Let's not move around to mar the beauty of this ceremony. With that said, I would like to respectfully invite the Rector of GIMPA, Professor Bonsu, to give his address. Rector, sir.
Chairman of Council, members of Council, which is the Governing Council of the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration, our distinguished guests, faculty, staff, wonderful students, media, and invited guests. Welcome to the final session of the 22nd congregation at Green Hill, of course, where beauty is second nature. Our graduates here today have added to the beauty of the hill, and we thank you for that contribution. And it's only just a bit, a small bit of what you have done to contribute to the development of this hill that we describe as GIMPA. We also welcome those from our satellite campuses who have joined us this morning. I stand here privileged as the rector of our esteemed institute to report on some of the activities that we have engaged in over the last year, and also to share with you some thoughts at this graduation ceremony. I begin on a very sad note. We lost two members of our GIMPA family recently. The first was a student at SOLAS who completed all his course requirements with a CGPA over 3.75. We lost Mr. Mills. He was scheduled to graduate with us this morning. The second is my dear friend Azule. Azule worked tirelessly for GIMPA until his retirement last August, a few months ago. Azule would meet me at the GB block and chat and share jokes. He would visit me at my office to chat every so often when I was at the business school. I did not see him much since I became rector. We met only casually on campus, and he indicated to me that he had less access to me because of the protocols of my new office. Mr. Chairman, may I respectfully invite us to rise and observe a minute's silence in honor of our departed brethren, please. May the souls of our departed brethren rest peacefully in the bosom of the Almighty God. Amen. Please resume your seats. Mr. Chairman, if you would allow me, please let me acknowledge the people that we are celebrating today. Students who have invested themselves for the better. Congratulations to all of you from the various programs that are being offered, from the diploma, bachelor, master, and doctoral programs. I hope that through the various rites and rigors of GIMPA, you have been transformed to appreciate the value of life itself and of neighborliness, caring for each other. In fact, we are here to celebrate the achievements that you have made, especially through your attachment with GIMPA. The rite of passage towards these achievements are filled with fire and brimstone, as I've always said. Tough, but you have endured. Maybe with a few bruises here and there. But on behalf of GIMPA, I'd like to offer you our warmest congratulations. And thank you for choosing us. And I believe this is only the beginning of a relationship that we have started to build. Mr. Chairman, at the heart of every institution, and especially ours, is our students. We do indeed recognize the value of our students. It is for this reason that we seek to ensure that we provide for them whatever is necessary to enhance their learning at GIMPA. Sometimes our actions, decisions, choices, speaking from management perspective, may seem unreasonable, but all these actions are intended to improve the quality of instruction and services for our students. For instance, insisting on students registering on time is not just an act of violence, as someone told me a few weeks ago. It is in fact intended to facilitate our ability to provide you with the best of services, because it supports our planning and therefore our ability to provide adequate services, spaces, and other resources to enhance the student experience. We hope to improve our communication with students over time to ensure that you hear about some of the things that we are discussing, talking about actions that are to be taken, and perhaps work with you on various of these issues before we go public with them. Now, to improve on this communication, the Student Affairs has taken several initiatives that are relevant. The Dean of Students has started issuing a monthly newsletter with information about what is happening at GIMPA. We recognize the need to further support our students. So we have revamped or improved our guidance counselor services for the benefit of our students. We hope that all parties begin to recognize the critical need for the interventions that our guidance counseling services will provide to support our students as they they work their way through GIMPA and prepare for the world beyond. The Student Affairs also has initiated various placement support services for our students and have been inviting industry and other community members to join us on campus and share their experiences. We hope that we're going to be able to expand on this in the coming year as we seek to further improve the benefits that we create and opportunities that we create for our students. Mr. Chairman, all our academic programs are being reviewed for improved value. The review has called for narrowing down some of our offerings and focusing on those that we have the requisite resources to support. With quality in view, our curricular reforms included a temporary suspension of GIMPA's mature student entry program and a scaling down of our PhD program. We needed to take this break and review what we were offering. As the curriculum reforms continue, it is our prayer that the redesigned programs that come out of the exercise will be much improved versions of what we had before to make GIMPA and Ghana very proud. Mr. Chairman, the government has offered to build a 440-bed hostel for us on the Green Hill campus. It is expected that by the end of next year, the project will be completed, and we invite our graduating students to come and visit us. You might want to make a special contribution so you spend the night just for the experience. I'm sure you're already thinking of making that contribution, so I don't have to force you into it. Conversations are also ongoing for the construction of another hostel with the State Housing Corporation. Other projects that we are considering other projects also. We will be renovating several of our buildings, and as you can see from what is going on to the buildings on my right, that initiative has already taken effect. The Faculty of Law building is next. Contracts have already been awarded to revamp that building. Manfi Hall, the GB Auditorium, and the connected classrooms are next in line. Then we will tackle all the uncompleted buildings on campus. The new auditorium, the building behind the rectorate. We hope and pray that by the end of 2024, there will be no uncompleted building on this campus. Now, GIMPA's budget alone cannot support this. All these projects are wonderful additions to the assets that we have. So we'll be seeking partners to support us in various ways. Council is open to naming buildings and other facilities after benevolent donors. So please, we know most of you are very well placed. Tell your friends about this opportunity and that we are open to talking to them about how we can move forward on a project like this. Mr. Chairman, to facilitate service delivery to students and other stakeholders, we are working very hard to integrate digital solutions into the GIMPA environment through especially our ERP system. GIMPA is set to become the first fully digitized university environment in the country. Our target date for completion of this project was December 1st. We didn't quite get there, but we made significant progress. And we are making all the relevant investments towards this goal. And I have been assured that by the end of the first quarter of next year, the bulk of the project would be completed. Mr. Chairman, as I noted earlier, a certain level of discipline is required of all stakeholders for GIMPA's success. Students are required to register on time. Staff are supposed to be on time for work and do what they are supposed to do. Faculty is expected to go to class on time, teach what they are supposed to teach, and enter their grades on schedule. We are going to be automating a lot of the processes that we engage in to facilitate improved versions of what we have. That automation process will save us a tremendous amount of money and ensure timely delivery of services and give us the proper records that we need to support decision making. Above all, I think the automation process will help us really mobilize effective data and preserve the integrity of our records. For an academic institution, integrity of records is one of the most significant, if not the significant factor for our continued preservation. We will invest in this and ensure that we focus enough on it to get the expected outcomes that we seek from this exercise. Mr. Chairman, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you know that GIMPA is a financially autonomous institution. That is to say that we do not receive government subvention. Thus, we rely heavily on our own devices to generate resources to support our activities. This dependency, especially on tuition, has its challenges. To ease the burden that it places on GIMPA, Council in its wisdom decided and launched an endowment fund in March this year. The fund will serve to ensure the Institute's financial stability into perpetuity. GIMPA seeks to offer financial support and other support really to potential students who would otherwise not be able to come to GIMPA, mainly because of financial lack. Of course, we would like to contribute to the national development by ensuring that as best as we can, if there is anybody who needs to go to school and is brilliant, qualified enough, but is not able to do so just because of financial lack of financial resources, that GIMPA makes a contribution to the nation by inviting those students to join us without having to deal with the difficulties that go with that. So I would like to use this opportunity to invite all of us, our guests, our graduating students, to think of making contributions towards this goal. We'll be contacting you at some point in the future to solicit your financial support for the development or the support of the endowment fund. We hope that at the right time, you will contribute generously when we come to you. No amount is too small. So whatever little you can contribute, we'll be very happy to accept. And we thank you in advance for your considered contribution. Now back to our graduating class. The fact that you are all here today means at least one thing. You have an appreciation for knowledge, and you appreciate the fact that it can enrich lives. In a few moments, you will no longer be students of GIMPA. You would have become alumni, eternal friends of the Institute. You are now tied to our successes and failures, our happiness and sadness, and of course, you will always share in our glory. You are a permanent part of us. Take advantage of your membership in the GIMPA community, please. Let us hear how you're doing. Invite us to support you when we can. And you are invited to join us anytime. We'll be inviting you to various programs that we offer here. Not necessarily academic programs, but public community relations programs that we organize here. So join us as often as you can, and come back and visit us as regularly as you can. We'll really like that. You are the ones who make us great, and we look forward to a continuing relationship beyond your graduation and definitely beyond today. To our PSMTP graduates in particular, and to our international students, those who have come from our neighboring countries, we are planning visits to your countries in the future. So expect to see us, and we'll be mobilizing the alumni and interacting with you going forward. So once again, on behalf of GIMPA, faculty and staff, I congratulate you on this very special occasion. Someone once wrote that it is never too late to be what you might have been. I'll invite all of us to look to the future with a view to what we want to see, what we would like to be. And I'm sure that with that focus, we will all be able to get there. I wish you the best as you go forth into this brave new world. And we hope that we will continue the relationship to support your GIMPA, my GIMPA, our GIMPA. Thank you very much and congratulations.
Chairman. As has already been mentioned, our guest of honor, Reverend Dr. Joyce Ayi, is unavoidably absent. Her profile is in the brochure, so you may read to know her achievements. But suffice it to say that she's a stateswoman. She's no stranger to the education sector and has dedicated 40 years of her life serving the public and private sector in Ghana. And she's fondly remembered for being the one who introduced, I don't know if you remember, a common uniform for all public schools in Ghana when she was then Secretary for Education. And then she also introduced wearing of Achimota sandals so that the pupils will look smart in their uniform and their shoes. There'll be no distinction between the rich and the poor. And this is the woman who has served this country and is our guest of honor. As I've mentioned, she's not here. However, we have in her place Professor Olivia Nkuchede, as Council Chair has already mentioned. She is a Professor of Regulation and Organization at the University of Ghana Business School, and she will read the speech on behalf of the guest of honor, Dr. Joyce Ayi.
Council members, I'll stand all existing protocols. I'll read the address of our guest of honor, Reverend Dr. Joyce Rosalind Ayi, on financing higher education in Africa in the post-COVID-19 era. Over the last 2 years, the world has been impacted in many ways by the pandemic. Besides the tragic health issues and stress on the health systems around the world, the pandemic has affected the economic, social, and emotional well-being of society. The socio-cultural and economic system we knew have been destabilized, probably for the longer term. As far as education is concerned, and due to school and university closures, many young people have been deprived of the opportunity to benefit from education. University leaders, students, and staff have been faced with ongoing challenges to address, yet also with new opportunities to explore. The context in which universities operate remains rather unpredictable, and the sector needs to continue to be very flexible and innovative. The current situation calls for an in-depth reflection on how to build back better, and especially for Africa higher education institutions to look at financing options and how to optimize ICT innovations and infrastructure. The pandemic has accelerated change, including in higher education, and there is a need for thorough understanding and exchange about where we are today and how to prepare the future. Education has been reimagined in order to better fulfill the expectations of society. Indeed, we are at an important point in time when we can learn from the unprecedented global crisis we experience. No doubt, uncertainty has become the new normal during the pandemic as changes occur at a rapid pace, making long-term planning difficult. Beyond the health crisis, the pandemic also led to an economic crisis, and the question of how this crisis will affect higher education institutions in the medium and long term remains unknown. The International Association of Universities conducted a global impact survey, which included responses from Africa, America, Asia, and Pacific and Europe. It was reported that the African region had the highest percentage of higher education institutions with closed campuses due to COVID-19 compared to the other regions. In terms of higher education institutions moving to online teaching and learning, it was reported that Africa was the only region where teaching was suspended or cancelled for a brief period before moving to online teaching and learning. However, only 29% of African higher educations were able to quickly transition to online teaching and learning compared to 85% of institutions in Europe, 72% in America, and 60% in Asia and Pacific regions. With the introduction of new age teaching and learning for institutions that were not prepared for the online transition, many challenges either resurfaced or became more evident. This became evident as only 24% of the African population has internet access or experiences poor to no connectivity in certain rural areas, threatening the goal of inclusivity of learning approaches for students in higher education. This reflects the foresight of the nature of investment that has been built around higher education in Africa. The International Association of Universities paper, the impact of COVID-19 on higher education around the world, mentions the commonality of public funding globally for higher education, with institutions in Europe showing the largest share of public funding, that is 81%, when compared to other regions, that is Asia and Pacific being 73%, Africa 67%, and the Americas 66%. Looking only at those higher educational institutions that have public funding, particularly in Africa and the Americas, more institutions experience a decrease in public funding, that is 49% and 48% respectively. Moreover, in Africa, few institutions, that is 9%, experience an increase in public funding. In Asia and Pacific, most institutions reported a stable level of income in public funding, yet more institutions reported a decrease, that is 39% in public funding, than those reporting an increase of 14%. The situation in Europe is different, as 60% of institutions reported stable income. There was no change in public funding, and furthermore, more institutions experienced an increase. As mentioned already, Europe is also the region with the largest proportion of public institutions, as it is the region with the highest percentage of institutions having public funding. Africa, and particularly the Americas, have a smaller proportion of public institutions compared to Europe, which is also reflected in the data set, as these regions have the lowest percentage of institutions receiving public funding. The situation is therefore especially worrisome in these two regions, because not only are there fewer institutions receiving public funding, but half of those that do not already experience a decrease in public funding. As it is now, the economic downturn of the post-COVID-19 era means that there will be pressure on governments to continue to fund public institutions of higher learning. But to achieve success, even private higher learning institutions must be supported by some form of government-enhanced policy and funding framework. According to UNESCO's new science report entitled "The Race Against Time for Smarter Development," the main worry is whether the current level of funding of tertiary education systems in the region will enable universities to embark on teaching, development, and deployment of new state-of-the-art technologies such as artificial intelligence, nanotechnology, and robotics. On average, the sub-region was highlighted as spending about 1% of its gross domestic product on higher education, although some countries spent less than 0.1%. For instance, in 2018, among the 13 countries of the Economic Community of West African States, a 3.3% share of its GDP, Sierra Leone was the highest spender on higher education, followed by Burkina Faso 1.8% and Senegal 1.5%, while Gambia, Guinea, and Liberia, on the other hand, spent 0.5% or less. During the same period in Central and East Africa, public expenditure on higher education was led by Ethiopia at a 2.3% share of GDP. Kenya spent 0.7%, Rwanda 0.6%, and Uganda 0.3%. According to the report, many public universities, especially in the sub-Saharan Africa, are currently facing funding difficulties, with the bulk being absorbed by wages and other running expenses, rather than investment in equipment or research and development. According to the World Bank, enrollments in the tertiary education sector in sub-Saharan Africa make up nearly 3% of all university enrollments in the region, as there are more than 260 million students enrolled across primary, secondary, and tertiary levels. In this regard, the rhetoric about demographic dividends is changing, as a UNESCO report noted that one of the key targets of the Economic Community of West African States is to promote lower fertility rates to 3 children per woman by 2030. The brain drain also remains a major headache for Africa's higher education system, as highly educated academics have become more susceptible to the lure of better living and working conditions in prosperous developed countries. But even as they try to survive economic challenges, African universities had to deal with a new curveball, the disruption of COVID-19, that could persist for longer than anticipated. According to the World Bank briefing, remote learning across tertiary education in sub-Saharan Africa has exposed the digital divide as an additional element of socioeconomic inequity in the region, as well as an extension of further academic inequalities across the universities. What has emerged with academic disruptions during the COVID-19 pandemic is that digital devices have become essential learning tools. Poor families that cannot afford to invest in computer laptops and smartphones face stark decisions about their capacity to enroll their children in universities and support them throughout the progression toward a degree, noted the World Bank. But as a UNESCO report pointed out, the clock is ticking for countries in sub-Saharan Africa to start investing heavily in higher education to absorb the rising demand, as more than 60% of the population is under the age of 20 in most countries in the region, in order to combat employment and give graduates marketable skills to help in the building of modern economies. For Africa, therefore, post-COVID-19 era funding for higher education cannot be discussed without first considering considerable financing and funding for ICT infrastructure that enables remote learning. This will include mobile connectivity for students. Identifiable, the two popular funding for higher education institutions are public funding, substantially sourced from government, and private funding, principally sourced from tuition and user fees from students. Others include internally generated funds, which institutions in Africa must seriously start thinking about its usefulness and what has been done to maximize this era of funding. But more significantly, fee paying for students needs more attention. The European model of a long-term student finance scheme that enables students to access higher amounts must be rediscussed. Repayment arrangement, including a discussion on brain drain, cannot be overlooked in a discussion like this. Beyond this, Africa's funding options must focus on 3 main thematic pillars. 1, an analysis of funding modalities for universities in Africa, with a particular focus on the spread of performance-based funding mechanisms. 2, an exploration of funding mechanisms to foster excellence, often specific initiatives outside of the regular financial framework in which universities operate. And 3, a review of operational efficiency measures implemented within and between universities. Finally, the need to gather quality data on how the pandemic has both exposed and offered opportunity for improvement for higher education at the institutional, national, regional levels is pertinent. This will help us understand what disruptions have brought about and what needs to be done to ensure that the sector delivers on its promises for the future. Indeed, our posture, orientation, and reorientation and strategies today can propel us into greatness or ordinariness. Planning partnership with governments, university leadership, corporate organizations, civil society, especially philanthropic organizations, and targeted investment can ignite a win-some result for Africa's higher educational institutions. Thank you.
I think we've gotten to the moment we've all been waiting for, and that is the presentation of graduates for the conferment of various master's degrees. The persons who will be presented have fulfilled the requirements of the statutes and regulations of the Institute and have been found worthy in character and in learning to be admitted to the various master's degree programs of the School of Technology, School of Public Service and Governance, the Business School, Faculty of Law. I therefore call upon Professor Alu, the acting dean of the School of Research and Graduate Studies, to present the graduates for admission to the degree. Professor Apalu, sir.
Will the graduating student of the School of Liberal Arts and Social Science, Business School, School of Technology, School of Public Services and Governance, please stand and remain standing. Mr. Chairman, yes, so this is, yes. I, Professor Wisdom Akpalu, the acting dean of the School of Research and Graduate Studies, by the authority of the Act of the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration, present to you the person standing and those absent for sufficient cause and for whom I stand proxy, who have been found worthy in both character and in learning to be admitted to the various degrees.
Acting Dean of the School of Research and Graduate Studies. By the powers conferred on me by the enabling acts of the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration, GIMPA, that is, Act 676, I admit in one spurt all the master graduates of the School of Technology, the School of Public Service and Governance, the School of Liberal Arts and Social Studies, and the Business School. I admit all of them, as I've said in one spurt, to the degrees due them. I go.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. May I respectfully invite Mr. Norman Yemete, a council member, to assist the Dean of Graduate School to present the students.
Master of Science, Applied Mathematics, Calvin Mensah, William Kweku Ejay Holmes, this is for School of Technology. Master of Science in Information Technology and Law, Marie Law Esi Alovo, Leslie Israel, Joseph Kaputete Gli, John Dazi, Foster Cranchijan, Douglas Ewa, Winifred Elikem Louis Kofi. Master of Science in Management Information Systems, Prince Amwaku Ba, Jonathan Ahuma Saki, Frank Aquahayford, Eric Kwabna Anson, Linus Abdullahi Idi, Andrews Kobna Entry Buafo, Desmond Kuku Finn Adams, Bismarck Alimo, Marybound Osei, Stephen Besua Dasa, Aaron Mauli Avajo, Dora Jura Okran, Master of Philosophy in Management Information Systems, Evans Ofori Arthur. Master of Science in Digital Forensics and Cybersecurity, Louis Opoku Jemfi. Rosemond Ojura Oredua Ado Sampon. Rosemond Oredua Ado Sampon. Kurt Emmanuel Plange. Eugene Mafo Akoto. Richard Divine Che. George Sedem Appel. Okay. Worthy Elijah. Karen Hapok Louis. Ata Amankwa. Loveland Akusika Saba. Deborah Akuwa Nkrumah. Joshua Na. Albert Frimpong Ampofo. Terry Kweku Boateng. Odell Pomari. Samuel Opoku Daniels. Erastus Bredu Ekufo Bedu. Eric Niso Wabaja. Albert Quist. Rashid Abubakar Ayanaba. Ebenezer Asante. Richard Owusu. Patricia Eduafo Enimfo. Michael Kojo Agosa. Jonas Techi Asamoah. Jeffrey Stewart. Benjamin Befi. Nana Kwame Kwachi. Wisdom John Frey. Peter Opon Befi. Felicity Elom Babanao. Samuel Fachi Ampofo. James Hebe G. Senanu. Maxwell Ampabing. Ebenezer Tete Nano. Jonathan Gasekpo Ajololo. Bernard Yabua Edu. Nelson Herald Dakun. Henry Kwabna Safori. Emmanuel Oforiopoku Eje. Stephen Hasford. Master of Science in Management Information Systems, Francis Akron. Thank you.
May I call on the school officer for SPSG to come and present the graduates?
School of Public Service and Governance, Executive Master of Governance and Leadership, Bismarck Atta Ejapon, Fidelia Ohima Ajoyi, Mary Khan Apau, Betha Ajo Mensah, Isaac Kofi Sewura, and Beatrice Akwe. Master of Arts in Monitoring and Evaluation, Suleimana Mahama, Wahin Benjamin Edu, Woods Aaron, Ameza Isaac Newton, Eugene Owusu Sapon, David Youngs, Jase Osman Jim, Hakim Yahya, Richard Panford, and Numa II Samuel Tamba. Master of Governance and Leadership, Callistus Della Madilo, Guzel Ataja, Abdulbasit Imoro, Mimi Nana Usia Ellis, Rosemond Aso Obeng, Linda Jeche Boadi, Emmanuel Abeka, Cynthia Tete, Lillian Kuma, Gifty Menta Kwashi, Celestine Avi, Jane Marie Formadi, Barima Ewa Sapong Asiedu Labi, Monica Ejewa Brainwell Tete, Frank Eidu, Nelson Chireme, Daniel Parker Odale France, Alfred Ni Kote Ashi, Abubakar Siddiq Suleiman, Ibrahim Isa, Humu Awudu, Isaac Parry, and Atika Mohammed. Master of Science in Health Services Administration and Leadership, Alhassan Hamdallah Napara, Tete Gifty Watson, Anan Cynthia, Abubakar Fauziwa, Dodzi Mary, Ashali Michael Dako, and Juan Tetenku. Master of Arts in International Relations and Diplomacy, Lily Odei Amponsa, Michael Sarkodie Bafo, Mercy Budu, Mahmoud Bamba Ahmed, Yaba Apiaba Obeng, Fauzia Mumuni, Elida Boateng Akomia, Eric Dramina Asamoah, Mohine Kara Kemchand, Felicity Meinu Feka, Na Ahine Beryl Amatefiu, Ama Asa Wade, Fauzia Yakubu, Catherine Echa Techi, Nanama Deda Ado, Priscilla Ohiming Mensa, Audrey Ohinwa Yebua, Pamela Na Dede Aye, Adelaide Na Ajoko Anang, Esther Echawa Osai, Emanuela Hama, Efia Konedo, Priscilla Ofosua Esiedu, Nanaya Bosompema Bampo, Michael Beidu, Eli Komi Nove, Christiana Tete, Loretta Na De Ashi, Deborah Leo Mensa, Joaquin Owusu Amwako, Alex Asari, Benis Agbodenu, Alice Amanda Barnes, Rosemary Watima Adani, Michael Dominic Ankuma, Rosetta Aliu, Malka Kenati Opoku, Devina Osei Apieje, Marjorie Dede Ama, Catherine Ewia, Florence Asantiwa Asari, Rebecca Agboga, Evans Amenelema Amihie, Florence Oredu Edianum, Agnes Kukua Mensa Agbodepe, Deborah Korieta Ajate, Kwabena Bonti Bediako, Genesis Goli, Elizabeth Akwele Mensa, Kojo Kumi Afo, Abena Chei Boache, Celestine Abavana, Rosemond Odum, Gifty Akapule, Akosia Adai Ohini Chow, Linda Akwe, Stephanie Parry Davis, Maurice Queno, Jenny Whitney Newman, Sarah Ofosu, Victoria Efua Goka, Dixon Kelvis Day Zanga, Matthias Bunzu Eureku Boateng, Jamila to Ibrahim, Nana Opoku Osaisraha, Patricia Arthur Jim, Lucy Awenle Anko, Fadia Assad, Antoinette Sewa Boako, Rosemary Osei Kwashe, Lynn Joy Armstrong Mensah, Nanama Ohinewa Enim, Harrietta Educhumwa Nkansa, Asana Isaka, Esther Asante, Harriet Nate, Rita Nigold Afenzi Mensah, Barbara Akosia Ejay, Marina Entry, Sumayatu Mohammed, Eura Adams Karim, Jabir Sulemana, Matilda Sewa Akoto, Francis Floyd Doe, Adam Abdul Aziz, Angela Osei Mensah. Master of Arts, Master of Science in Occupational Safety, Health and Environmental Management, Daniel Chumesi Ankra, Olivia Na Odei Kwe, Eric Ofosu Koranting, Justina Nole Mensah, Mohamed Abubakare, Felicia Kome, Samuel Mensah Bonsu, Evans Baini, Rhoda Inusa, Jeffrey Eidu, Jennifer Afrakuma Entry, Gilbert Ankra, Christine Amevo, Sandra Edu Boachewa, Gideon Bona Ofori, Caroline Koranting Dako, Kesha Amayo Owu, Jacob Nwunli Nwole, Frank Kofi Mensah, Eric Yaoboating, William Kwabena Tangwani, Abraham Akam, Seth Ahiati, Abdul Bashiru Zakaria, Prisla Ochre, Emefa Morte, Bennett Mensah Chidi, Joycelyn Efriye Sapong, Dorcas Wentema Anaba, Emmanuel Nana Ntete, Mercy Akufobia Okain, Rashida Musa, Christopher Jr. Edu Paco, Francisca Betty Apia, Nuhu Lord Ibrahim, Raymond Nate Tekute, Makida Amina Boyd, Jeremiah Constance Adobia, Josephine Cook, Caroline Awoche, Mariam Suraji, Solomon Asiedu Tete, Hebata Abdul Aziz, Emmanuel Kurang, Henry Essel, Ernest Tufo Adai, Prisla Nana Safua Opare Hammond, and Abdul Ganiyu Yakubu. Master of Public Administration, Arnold Kojo Aka, Ronald Osei Mensah, Sheila Morgan Echia, Anita Irenchi Kisiedu, Gabriela Doris Tete, Sandra Frempong, Theodosia Okante, Portia Nasa Cletego, Benesewa Bobby Boahin, Eric Donto, Winfred Kanda, Godwin Simesi, Precious Kusi, Zainab Sewa Echampong, Charles Akwesi Abuaje, Julius Makafui Kwame Patamia, Mame Fua Otua Otable, Wolski Atobra, Yusuf Nimo Mensah, Benis Safua, Alexander Kwabena Inkum, Amanda Nyameche, Evelyn Nana Ama Asari, Nana AC Yebua Dadzi, Francis Osei Mensah, Portia Abena Dochi, Linda Jones, Alberta Oforiwa Mante, Rita Kafui Ajemai, Rebecca Efua Sam, Emilia Asari, Sarah Jemfua Akwaku, Rachel Lamte, Michael Kofi Nyako, Joseph Ado Boateng, Roland Kweku Ekuaku, Sefa Ama Nude, Emma Adobia Opoku Efriye, Linda Dede Ama, Asha Ahmed, Yawa Antonio Agbota, Rebecca Ekua Afezi, Sandra Agbebo, Christabel Techi, Lydia Goka, Aisha Said Azomyan, Daniel Kobla Atipo, Justin Jaba, Agnes Simpe, Silas Dasana, Peggy Ayeko Tete, Gifty Amponsan Dodu, Abigail Nana Koshia Owusu, Shela Ann Lani Amana, Samuel Edriamwa Ado, Leticia Dapa, Sandra Intriwa Eje, Boche Lawrence Lord, Kofi Osei Owusu, Nanama Sapoma Dua, Derek Mensah McCarthy, Angela Ablode Agbedi, Angela Na Jama Akron, Kate Ohenewa Edu, Perpetua Owusua Kwache, Nunyan Apeti, Isaac Kumi Dramina, Kweku Joseph Ajay, Beta Tamaklo, Chamba Gomlan, Selina Na Koko Ado, Cecilia Enso, Pamela Victoria Cook, Dorcas Moses Simpson, Gloria Sebi Menta, Amena Inusa, Sarah Azameti, Davina Sheila Mensa, Elvis Kwesi Treme, Kenneth Ado, Fusheina Edie, Michael Kwaovi Saki Ako Adonvu, Sally Selom, Sarah Memuna Kofi, Solomon Seth Apia Kwapong, Janet Agustina Kuma Koranting, Peter Danso, Joan Okaile Aye, Priscilla Jaketebia Asante, Daniel Osiu Abua, Nanayao Adai Chumesi, Abdul Latif Amin, Florence Na Nole Dalmaidi, Florence Sumala Ang Kuchie, Cynthia Agbolosu, Matthew Tabazun, Gifty Owusu Bempa, Abigail Dakwa Apiedu, Amanda Sakina Kokra, Pamela Bano, Musa Asabigi, Samson Dodzi Fenuku, Ophelia Mensa, George Opoku Edusei, Salamatu Kadri Abubakar, Divine Mauli Atati, Martha Kweyi Menu, and Kingsley Affle. MPhil Development Finance, Sylviana Jama Akron, Samuel Afro Chemenu, Johnson Edu, and Alexander Ejari Amwako. Master of Public Health, Deborah Tepeki Kanamiti, Regina Ehunu Ama, Hobson Nimo Yeboah, Louisa Ankong Satekle, Marie Theresa Aman, Pa Kwesi Baisi Nenchi, Ebenezer Entry Amankwa, Wisdom Jange Ogbojo, Edem Lodo, Daniel Omani, Samuel Emuzu Kobena, Kojo Owusu Koranting, Eunice Tangwam, Edmond Edem Ayate, Na Letele Kwaku, Sarah Davis, Anita Dumelo, Joshua Elom Kwaovi, Benjamin Apia Sam Datson, Wisdom Amate Owulaku Christ, Daniel Selby, Eric Anani, Blankson Erefua, Nana Ikuya Awoche Van Dyke, Rita Alice Abedu, Joycelyn Kwatema Dawson Amoa, Deborah Brinkron, Kwame Eje Nwama, Charity Tane, Happy Agbonoloje, Antoinette Apiakoran, Yadu Fiechumesi Eduhene, Nanama Okuriwa Mante, Gilbert Akwesi, Michael Safo, Patrick Kwesi Akwa, Josephine Aporiga, Deborah Tuabom Deboa, Samuel Mandinka Dut, Emilia Mensah, Judith Mame Tanwa Yelbert, Yvonne Forson, Damata Mohamed Yakubu, Margaret Bakudi, Mavis Edum Chua, Sophia Osaibonsu, Bernard Eje Kwening, Abraham Norman Norte, Isaac Nikwe Adom, Dora Kulariba, Sylvester Edu Teiku, Felicia Amihe, Millicent Apia, Abina Nyantechiwa Amo Mensa, Veronica Do Atitso. Rita Kafui Ajiman, Rebecca Efua Sam, Emilia Asari, Sarah Jimfua Akwaku, Rachel Lamte, Michael Kofi Nyako, Joseph Aido Boateng, Roland Kweku Akwaku, Sefa Amanude, Emma Adobia Opoku Efriye, Linda Dede Ama, Aisha Ahmed, Yawa Antonio Abota, Rebecca Ekia Afezi, Sandra Agbegbo, Christabel Tachi, Lydia Goka, Aisha Said Azumyan, Daniel Kobla Atipo, Justin Jaba, Agnes Simpe, Silas Dasana, Peggy Ayoko Tete, Gifty Amponsa Dodu, Abigail Nana Akosia Awusu, Sheila Ann Lani Amana, Samuel Edriamwa Ado, Letitia Dapa, Sandra Ntru YJ, and Boche Lawrence Lord. Amara M. Kamara, Doreen Crystalline Thompson, Thomas B. Mowaka, Moses Alusin Kane, Master of Philosophy in Public Health, Matthias Pogvi Tengan, Yawa Brefa Safo, Edem Akapo, Rebecca Omedu Baba, Jennifer Hansen, Zainab Osman Abubakar. Master of Public Sector Management, Philip Osei Nkrumah, Ruben Kofi Oyate, Derek Bwedu Asante, Rosemary Damo, Selinam Akosia Ablode, Monsura Salim, Kwabena Nate Kasim, Kofi Adenkra Odro Echampong, Jarvis Kojo Kofi, Bernard Ampong Teria, Euraba Hagan Ferron, Wendy Bia Ampong, and Isaac Kobe Osei. Master of Science in Environmental Studies and Policy, Mark Walter Jaba Yebua and Eunice Flora Edu.
you, Mr. Norma Emete. May I respectfully invite the Deputy Rector to assist the Acting Dean of Graduates, Research and Graduate Studies to present the next batch of students.
The students who passed. Yeah.
You want to start with that group first?
Yes, I just want to say something about that before. The chairman of council, one of our students by name Joseph Ansah Mills, who fulfilled the requirements for graduation, unfortunately passed shortly before this graduation ceremony. The chair of council, may I respectfully invite the family of Mr. Joseph Ansah Mills to kindly step forward and be recognized. I would like to invite the Dean of SOLAS, the Dean of SOLAS, Professor Ajiam Poma, to join us.
May the soul of Joseph Mills rest in perfect peace. Amen. Master of Arts in Development Communications, Tatiana Edem Aglobiche, Sumaya Salifu Said, Louise Sechiama, Obenewa Ofe Nkansa, Michael Kwejo Asante, Perpetual Otu, Edem Kwam Aflupui, Lydia Efua Arthur, Frank Lovejoy Ayi, Master of Arts in Public Relations, Samuel Osafo Boateng, Stephanie Seiram Kujo Yevu, Patience Yesuto Agbodegedu, Isabella Baba Frimpong, Zaliatu Abdallah, Dinyunya Aku Mauli, Gideon Gidisu, Patience Arthur, Belinda Ama Ousu Nimakon, Joyce Kisiwa Odro, Dorothy Jami, Master of Philosophy in Economics, Prince Enim Kunedu, Master of Science in Economics Policy, Edward Ajapong, Edrana Apel Ada, Osei Ousu Ajeman, Uche Chuku Insirimovu, Antia Nanaya Fanos, Sylvester Kwesi Dazi, Master of Science in Energy Economics, Kezia Obnewa Amache Mafo, Reginald Ajenim Boateng, Gifty Boatima Oben Kanta, Philippine Nelly Gagnon, Patrick Mbawomnya Yin, Josephat Kaimopo Dakura, Michael Ousu Taki, Fusaini Ali, Paulina Mensa Onuma, Fafape Ama Echa Foi, Fida Doni, Akosia Asa Menu, John Ebenezer Osei Sefa, Samuel Asare Dankwa, Prince Eti Azuma, Salman Abubakari Kadiago, Emmanuel Senyo Amekulenu, Joseph Aban, Ali Simon Jarana, Stephen Brand, Eric Tando Arthur. Okay. Please get seated. The program is still ongoing. Please. Master of Science in Financial Economics, Ephraim Ofori Numoswo, Stanley Solaga, Bismarck Elom Ado, Emmanuel Dankwa, Jacob Yeboah Boama, Isaac Eidu, Esther Ama Apia, Herman Prosper Delali Agbo, Jemima Aseye Ayayi, Noah Na Amate, Eli Kojo Agboche, Joshua Lamte, Michael Dewu.
Thank you, Senior Assistant Registrar Solas, for presenting your students. May I invite the Senior Assistant Registrar of the Business School to present the graduates?
Thank you. Master of Accounting and Finance, Nanajua Kesua Inkum, Kelvin Boatin Dankwahini, Anita Nanaya Ejewa Ata, Dominic Adam Nonati, Richard Kweku Bwedu, Gloria Damiba, Justina Addison, Andrew Tete Kuma, Francis Ewanam Bedi, Nora Obin, Jesse Aiji Swansea, Rita Ofe, Benjamin Kumbo, Osei Akoto Ata, Anthony Kwao Bedu, Emmanuel Bruce, Ivan Victor Ni Akwe Clark, Calvin Obosam, Rahab Mensa Kweku, Enoch Abeku Bat Blanche Teria, Kazini Aponsan, Prosper Ofosu Vida Anita Odoi, Belinda Kwechno, Jennifer Donko, Seriam Benedicta Beku, Angela Bwedu Obin, Norman Anyite, Jessica Nana Sevia Amwatin, Techiwa Amwatin, Jessica Nana Techiwa Amwatin, Charlotte Oware, Angela Fatima Moro, Maxwell Parku 80, Godwin Ausanya, Asamwa Kwabna Buedu, Yimon Rodria, Lydia Edusei, Mavis Avel Tinwin Atia, Roberta Eve Anna Taylor, Godwin Tetena. Master of Business Administration, Accounting and Taxation option. Justin Enyonam Kuma, Kweku Obin Frimpong, Edward Ewuku, Master of Business Administration, Finance option. Harriet Kukwa Grover Bini, Felix Ankoma Dodu, Esther Na Ache Eje, Ernestina Opoku, Ruth Equia Ajintete, Master of Marketing, Jonas Amuni, Linda Boama Ampedu, Michael Nana Benyi Molino, Stephanie Benson Entry, Diamond Tumaku, Christiana Kukwa, Fali Morrison, Priscilla Afi Amegachi, Aki Mabel, Josephine Adra Osei, Anthony Osei, Lawrence Atogezi, Jennifer Sanogo, Gloria Amismua Atimbia, Nicholas Kwabina Nyakonya Mitumi, Priscilla Na Tevia, Frederick Awate, Hannah Chiniwa, Samriatu Nuhu, Patrick Kwablan Wuto, Master of Business Administration Marketing, Gebo Kweku Molatu, Jessica Nana Wachiwa, Bismarck Forsensa, Joyce Abina Donko, Belinda Jijonu Dogbe,
Master of Project Management, Annie Adwa Teteforsen, Andrew Entwibwe Siakun Jr., Jeffrey Atadapa Siakwan, Marigold Labi, Emmanuel Jonah, Edmond Kojo Sam, Kweku Karikari Menu, James Brew Waterberg, Equia Akoto Timi, Benson Apia Chumasi, Abigail Efua Adobia Ohipeni, Enoch Odurasi Jura Kwatin, Mary Mate Doku, Samuel Okumasa Kwao, Michael Lawson Anakwa, Behemin Kusi Adoma, Harry Labi Ansa, Benjamin Apia Labi, Rose Charlotte Dosese, Maxwell Osei Jamna, Gloria Nyamiche Dapa, Miguel Francisco Ribeiro, Destiny Kofi Weche, Lucas Hajo, James Dankwa, Henry Dansu Mensa, Lawrence Kofi Agbota, Ni Ayi Abdul Rahim Ayi, Francisca Asari, Divine Amesimeku, Selasi Naki Tete, Gabriel Estrefi Boite, Anthony Kwansa Isabella Bibiani Bangre, Mark Fofie, David Kwesi Nudo, Master of Supply Chain Management, Nancy Essel, Edward Esiedu Akwa, Stephanie Ofanche, Kwabina Buama Che Bafuo, Denzel Kwabina Asanti, Nana Osusu Achan Ewa Frimpong, Sandra Kurama Boatin, Constance Nyakunwa Edu, Nancy Apia, Evelyn Esinam Aponsa, Patience Bansa, Janet Nyakon Frimpong, Joshua Edu Chum, Salom Dejo, Fred Anani, Ruth Edumata Nyamiche, Isaac Ekwam Bentel, Nana Ya Ahinkra Mafu, Lydia Dodu, Master of Business Administration, Supply Chain Management, Jennifer Na Ajele Tebipa, Najet Michelle Telfa, Mavis Klechi Lamte, Master of Human Resource, Delphina Amate, Hadase Arali Tete, Deborah Yari, Vivian Glover, Belinda Okainte Seidu, Godwin Atram, Teresa Sechibia Bosompim, Rebecca Osafu Ejekumhini, Serena Duke Zakari, Edwina Oriama Ampia, Irene Momo Lai, Abigail Manfemo Agbonu, Margaret Isabella Insia Mensa, Eunice Akosua Adoga, Ya Ejewa Nyakon, Virtuous Botry, Rhoda Aye, Grace Love Hayford, Rejoice Opoku Menu, Darling Rita Edu, Enyonam Koto, Emmanuel Eshirin Jomo, Efwa Frimpoma Labi, Akosua Nyakon Yebua, Abdullah Sule, Mariama Sharif, Magdalene Fati Hwening Afedi, Sumiya Abdul Gani, Sidona Laye, Master of Business Administration, Human Resource, Patrick Tete Benyemi, Gifty Edmond, Jacqueline Tando, Mary Batplant, Piska Bedele, Josephine Ayukute, Millicent Mensa, Dinah Barija, Francis Akom. Thank you. Then you take your seat. Very much.
I'd like to thank the Acting Dean of Graduate School Graduate School for presenting the graduate programs. Presentation of graduates for the award of various undergraduate programs. Mr. Chairman, the persons who will be presented have fulfilled the requirements of the statutes and regulations of the Institute and have been found worthy both in character and in learning to be admitted to the various bachelor's degree of the School of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences, School of Public Service and Governance, Faculty of Law, and the Business School. I therefore call upon the Dean of Students, Dr. Augustina Akono, to present the graduates of the various schools for admissions to their various degrees. Mr. Chairman.
Will the graduating students for the bachelor's program of the Business School, School of Technology, School of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences, Faculty of Law, and the School of Public Service and Governance please stand and remain standing? I, Dr. Augustina Akono, Dean of Students, by the authority of the Act of the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration, present to you the persons standing and those absent for sufficient cause, and for whom I stand proxy, who have been found worthy, both in character and in learning, to be admitted to the bachelor degrees of the various schools and faculty.
Dean of Students, I want to say this to the graduating students who you have presented and I will be admitting in a minute. Now, I choose my words carefully. And in constituting this assembly, I say that this is a special occasion, a solemn occasion. This institute, what it means to you in the world of work, the world of learning, that you've been here and you've achieved some distinction, and therefore you are due degrees and diplomas. Therefore, when you are stepping out to get your degree, please do it with a sense of occasion. Make sure that your cap is properly, if you want to go, fine. But your professors are here shaking your hand. Thankfully, COVID is gone. Not gone yet, but now we can shake hands. Shake hands firmly, look into their eyes, pause for a picture. Pause for a picture. Pause for a camera picture, 1 minute. Get to the faculty, bow or curtsy, and thank them. Please, do it with style, with occasion. And if you pause for a picture, one day, you will have to prove in court whether indeed you came here. Your name will be here, but your lawyer will say, no, so there's no document apart from this thing you showed me. Show your lawyer the picture. Now, Dean of Students, by the powers conferred on me, I will admit in one spurt graduates for the School of Technology, the School of Public Service and Governance, the School of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences, my colleagues from the Faculty of Law and the Business School. I admit all of them to the degrees and diploma due them. I go.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. May I invite the Acting Dean of School of Technology to assist the Dean of Students to present the awards. And the Senior Assistant Registrar, please do us the honors of presenting the students. Thank you.
Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, Felix Chemasi Obiri, Jonadab Kwamla, Joseph Raymond Ado, Kings Fodor and Jowo, Maxwell Kwesi Goku, Samuel Dawute, Upon Richard Kojo, Anaba Malcolm Jonathan, Adumaku Diodat. Bachelor of Science in Management Information Systems, Angela Ekwia Janwa, Jubikel Amega, Lambert Kweku Jampo, Mami Ekwia Pokwia Opong, Wilson Emmanuel Kwame Amwakon, Osafwe J. Patrick. Bachelor of Science in Information and Communications Technology, Emmanuel Kwesi Yali, Raphael Ni Norte Hansen Norte, Selom Koku Segbeji, Do Christopher, Abuaji William Kwame Dramna. Diploma in Applied Computer Science, Benedict Kwesi Owusu, Denise Eyram Ajate, Edem Kweku Saba, Godfrey Tete Amenya, Kojo Anan Odum, Nana Santi Anson, Richmond Labi Abuaji, Salim Akani O'Neill, Selim Mansa, Sharif Abubakar. Thank you.
Bachelor of Science in Hospitality and Tourism, Josephine Misrenyame, Courage Do, Hilda Penma, Mary Adobia Ohima.
Bachelor of Science in Public Administration, Enoch Nate Soji, John Kwesi Atiga, Makil Lawal Gabi, Millicent Maku Kwete, Perfect Enyonam Aba, Philip Kweku Odei Asari, Prempe Junior Odro, Roslyn Ewa Tramatin. Thank you.
Thank you, Dean of SPSG. May I call on Dean of Business School to please come and assist the Dean of Students to present the students of the graduates of the Business School, please.
Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, Faustina Enyemfo, Ophelia Sewa Ama Esiome, Bachelor of Science in Human Resource, Afrakuma Odro Denchi, Hannah Frimpoma Efa, Benis Ata, Bachelor of Science Operations and Supply Chain Management, Christian Kujo, Bachelor of Science in Project Management, Henry Ej Safo. Elizabeth Ejewa Opoku, Frederick Abene, Joseph Jan Nkansa, Prince Dankwa Osain, Sabina Aka, Sonia Owusu Menu. Bachelor of Science Finance, Ambrose Osei Jemfi. Bachelor of Science in Procurement, Logistics and Supply Chain Management, Angela Labi, Antoinette Groovy Nyato, Queen Ruth Wellington, Sarah Akute Kwamifio, Simon Deborah Akoto. Diploma in Management Studies, Matilda Bomonembanse, Osmond Owusu Akresu. Thank you.
Thank you, Dean of Business School. You may resume your seat. Now, I'd like to respectfully invite the Dean of the Faculty of Law to kindly come forward to present your students for their award.
Sheila Avoka, Echa Georgette Num, Adjoa Asomo Apia Amenin, Akpene Amakuma, Akumensa Jifa, Angela Okai, Asimen Ahenkra Ejapin, Belinda Clogy, Benjamin Ofe Ado, Benjamin Edi Kujo, Bernard Asamoah Henabin, Christ Abel Elinam Awume, Edward Baba Kubate, Elaine Teresa Lale Late, Elias Olu Boaso, Emilio Kweku Owusu Asante, Emmanuel Akan Moge, Emmanuel Bediako Mamfe, Esther Omare Mreku, Esther Mame Araba Apia Asari, Evangeline Bubune Azasu, Fidel Karimo, Felix Osafoma for Felix Asante, Festus Manson Akru, Francis Adams, Frank Kwame Dako, Gertrude Abakuma Dorman, Godfred Kwame Brako Kusi, Hakim Yahaya, Henrietta Sefoga, Henrietta Afiquist, Hilda Sali Pampo, Idris Salis Gulo, Innocent Okochuku Azimo, Jacinta Ayumbono Azure, Jacqueline Ejay Ampofo, Jessica Cree Opoku Amwabin, Joanita Naaku Ayikwe, John Wilmot Baden, Joseph Kusi Dazi, Judy Noeke Duku, Kofi Denchi Frimpong, Laurel Lai, Leslie Canwood, Lodina Osei Anane, Mame Ajwa Ohenewa Ado, Mame Araba Owusu Ankoma, Malik Ando. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dean of Students and Dean of Faculty of Law. Mr. Chairman, I present the graduates who have excelled for the award of prizes and have the honor to respectfully invite Professor Ankuchede and the Rector to present the awards. Best Graduate Student for the one-year Master's Program, School of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences, Tatiana Edem Aglo Biti, Master of Arts in Development Communication, graduated with a CGPA of 3.89 on the scale of 4. Where is he? The award is a certificate and an amount of 1,000 Ghana cedis. Best Graduate Student for the one-year Master's Program, School of Technology, Louis Opoku Jemfi, Master of Science in Digital Forensics and Security with a CGPA of 3.9 on a scale of 4. The award is a certificate and an amount of 1,000 Ghana cedis. Best graduate student for the one-year master's program, School of Public Service and Governance, Deborah Tekbeki Kanamiti, Master of Public Health with a CGPA of 3.82. The award is a certificate and an amount of 1,000 Ghana cedis. Is she here? Best graduate student for the one-year master's program, Business School, Nana Adjoa Kesuwa Inkum, Master of Accounting and Finance with a CGPA of 3.77 on the scale of 4.0. The award is a certificate and an amount of 1,000 Ghana cedis. Now we come to the Institute Award to the overall best graduate student for the Institute's one-year master's program for 2022. Louis Opoku Jemfi, Master of Science in Digital Forensics and Security with a CGPA of 3.9 on a scale of 4. The award is a certificate and an amount of 2,000 Ghana cedis. Thank you very much, Rector and Professor Ankuchede. Okay, good. The profile of Louis Opoku Jemfi. Louis works for Omni Basic Bank as a cybersecurity engineer. Prior to his current position, he held a similar position in Cyberhawk Limited, a service provider for the banks. He has also worked as an adjunct lecturer for the Center for IT Development in GIMPA and Certified Learning Solutions. He has his basic education at St. Peter's Mission School in Ogbojo, Medina, and proceeded to Okwapiman Senior High School in Okropon, where he studied general science. He obtained a professional diploma in IT from GIMPA in 2013 and did a top-up bachelor's degree in ICT at West End University College. He holds professional certifications from Microsoft, Cisco, ISC2, CompTIA, and Project PeopleSet. His project work focused on security operation centers and the mitigation of cyber attacks. He explored the factors that influence the adaptation of SOCs, the feature and capabilities of SOCs, and how they help mitigate cyber attacks. He looks forward to pursuing a doctor in cyber security degree. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the valedictorian for the ceremony. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The chairman and members of the GIMPA Governing Council, the rector and deputy rector, the secretary of the institute, our distinguished guest speaker, deans, faculty, and staff of our honorable institution, invited guests, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is a privilege and yet humbling for me to stand before you as a valedictorian to give this speech on behalf of the class of 2022 graduates. Standing in front of you today as we celebrate the results of our years of effort and commitment is an honor. We cannot help but feel proud and successful when we reflect back on our time as we studied in this institution. In order to challenge ourselves academically, professionally, and as individuals, we have pushed ourselves to the absolute maximum. Mr. Chairman, GIMPA has offered us multicultural experiences. We have met people of different cultures and people with different academic backgrounds and expertise. We have developed enduring relationships and memories that we will treasure forever. A valuable asset indeed. I pray we leverage on this network and maximize it to the fullest. Colleagues, the COVID-19 pandemic has brought us closer to technology. Now more than ever, we cannot shy away from the fact that technology is now part of our everyday life, and the need to protect our systems and our lives is now crucial. To bring it home, let us consider our lives as computer systems that are susceptible to threats and attacks, which immediately exposes the systems to risk. How can we safeguard our values in the same way as a cybersecurity defense computer systems, networks, and data from hackers or unauthorized access? In the case of computers, control measures are implemented. As humans, we acknowledge our frailty and consented to a thorough education and expansion of knowledge of our minds, which are our great assets. Along with good soft skills, knowledge learned serves as our control measures. Making use of the knowledge is what is left to do. Achieving what we have today is a result of the control measures, but to have an influence, we must continue to develop and maintain strong soft skills, stay up with technological achievements, find fulfillment in our career, and have confidence in our abilities. We should not be like our yesterday without our degrees. Our communication and stance ought to reflect our academic progress. But it's crucial to keep in mind that our paths are far from over as we are moving into the future. We are starting a new chapter in our lives, and with it, new opportunities and challenges. More than ever, the world needs our knowledge and abilities. We possess the skills and information necessary to significantly impact our communities and the wider globe, regardless of whether we decide to continue our education or start working. I feel incredibly humbled and honored to be here today as a valedictorian. I want to express my gratitude first and foremost to God, then my family, friends, and faculty for their unfailing support, as well as for their advice and mentorship. Let us pause for a moment to think back on everything we've accomplished and anticipate the promising future that lies ahead. The class of 2022 deserves congratulations. God did. Ayiko.
Now that you have graduated, now that you have received your awards, there has to be some symbol of change of status. And so may I respectfully ask you to turn the tassel of your cap from left to right, please. Okay, I see that has been done. Now, what this signifies is that from now on, you are no longer just recipients of information, but you've become critical thinkers. Now, we've come this far by the grace of God and the support of a lot of persons in our lives. So we're going to do 3 cheers to show appreciation to all these persons. Now, the first one is to God Almighty for having brought us this far. Just a few moments ago, we witnessed that a posthumous degree was awarded to a former colleague of ours. And so we thank God that he has brought us this far. So, heap, 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 hooray. Please lift your caps as you did. That was a weak one, not for God. Heap, heap, heap. Hooray! To our lecturers, the staff of GIMPA, all those who have supported you during your stay here, we say heap, heap, heap. Hooray! Now to our families who have stood by us, our sponsors, our spouses, our children, our better halves, and all those who have supported us, we say heap, heap. Hooray! And the last one to yourselves for staying on the program and keep it
Yes, I heard that. It had to be done, so we make it 4 instead of 3. Heap, heap. Thank you very much. You may resume your seats. I would like to thank very much Mr. Chairman and all council members for making time to be here with us. The chairman in particular has been here since yesterday, and we really appreciate his time and his commitment to GIMPA. Thank you very much. Shall we appreciate him better? Mr. Chairman, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. I now invite the Chairman of Council to dissolve the 4th session of the 22nd Congregation for the admission to various master's and bachelor's degree and award of prizes of the Institute. Chairman, sir.
You are now members of alumni and frankly members of the GIMPA community. As members of the alumni, we expect you to give back. The rector told you about GIMPA endowment which council has established. The GIMPA endowment is in perpetuity. Our thinking and our hope is that over the years, we will be having so much money that it will be possible, since we have autonomy in financial management, as the rector said, we should be able to spend the money wisely that we get. And therefore, if you decide from, say, January, to make a contribution of 100 cedis, 100 cedis, which will buy some beer, don't drink the beer, but 100 cedis to our GIMPA endowment, you will be acknowledging and thanking your institute for the fact that you came out a better person. So please have that in mind. Now, I should also thank our guest of honor who could not come, Dr. Ai, but whose words of wisdom were articulated perfectly, if I may say so, by one of our own, Professor Olivia Ankuchede. We thank her sincerely. And Olivia, me too, I thank you, because to have to be thrust in your hands, and they did that while we were robing, somebody's speech, and then to ask you to come and read, it's not a small matter. We are grateful to you, Olivia. It shows your scholarship. And now I want to thank especially our rector, the faculty, and the staff for their dedication and tireless work in ensuring a wonderful ceremony. I thank you all. I thank our invited distinguished guests. I thank our parents. I thank the guardians who have been able to grace this occasion. Congratulations once more to the class of 2022. And our hope is that you'll be a positive and long-lasting, you will have a long-lasting impact on the society, wherever you may be. And our prayer is that the Almighty God may keep you safe. We hope to hear from you, and we are serious about it. In fact, as the rector said, by the time we live in here, I mean, I have to live here, by the end of 2024, when you come, you'll be entering reception and areas where you can sit, have conversation, and enjoy something. So those are the things coming. And now, I have the honor to dissolve the 4th and final session of the 22nd Congregation of this institute, the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration. The 22nd Congregation is hereby dissolved. And I wish you all a Merry Christmas and happy, fruitful 2023. Thank you.
Our Father, we are grateful to you for today. We thank you for your mercies and your grace. We thank you for the sunny weather we have had in order to hold this successful congregation. We are grateful to you. We thank you also for bringing us to the end of another year. Lord God, even as we depart from here, we pray that your presence shall be with us. For the Institute, we are continuing with our Christmas carols and the dinner in the evening. May your presence be with us. May we have a joyous moment, even as we end this academic year and the calendar year as an institute. May your name be glorified. In Jesus' name we pray with thanksgiving. Amen.